Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. This is a B1 level ESL lesson. Today we're going to learn about how to defend your position using reasons, results, and examples. And you'll use those phrases to defend a position about protecting the environment. So can we really make a positive change? So read the statements, what do you think about them, and give reasons for your answer, and feel free to add these to the comments. So if you want to change something, you need to act at a local level. If you really want to make a difference, you have to involve the national government. Or honestly, I don't think we can change anything in a positive way. Now, Melville District has a population of 35,000. It forms part of the city of Hurlington with a population of 600,000. So Melville Council is actively involved in environmental issues. For example, all residents have to recycle paper, glass, and plastics. And the council has also constructed 83 miles of bike lanes. So what is your local council like? This year, Melville Council has organized 3 campaigns to improve the environment in the area: Clean Up Our Town, Right Stuff, Right Bin, and the Solar Energy Initiative. All right, now you're going to skim the text and answer the questions. And remember, skimming, you're not going to read every line, every word. Just going to look for the information. So we'll start with the questions and then quickly see if you can find the answers to the questions without reading the entire slide. You can pause the video, try that on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, why has the council organized this campaign? Well, it's to encourage the local residents to work together and clean up litter in their neighborhood. What is the problem? Basically, that there's lots of trash, increased amount of trash in the streets. How will the council support the program? They'll provide trash bags to volunteers and arrange for the disposal of the waste. How can you find out more information about the campaign? You can either go online at this web address or also find information in the Melville Post every Thursday. All right, the mayor provides some background information about Clean Up Our Town. So he says, as a result of a growing population, there was more and more trash in the streets. Since every year there was more and more trash in the parks, we had to do something. And due to the fact that many families live here, we wanted a campaign that everyone could join. And we know that this type of campaign has worked in other districts such as Forbesville and Hendleton. So let's take a look at some of the helpful language to give reasons and results. So because of, and since give a reason. The council decided to organize a campaign because there was a lot of trash in the streets. Species are going extinct because of our actions, and the campaign is necessary since people aren't aware of the problem. Now you might also remember from some previous lessons that since can also be used to mark a specific time in the past. So something like since last year or since 1995, and then, talking about an event that has been occurring from that particular time forward. Due to and due to the fact that and as a result of are always to show a result. So due to melting ice caps, sea levels are expected to rise. Due to the fact that our politicians do nothing, we are going to see the effects of climate change soon. And as a result of climate change, many regions will experience more powerful storms. All right, so now match these vocabulary words to their definitions. You can pause the video, try this on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. So to make something poisonous is to contaminate. Very harmful, able to do a lot of damage is devastating. Split or separate into smaller parts or pieces is to break down. A powerful effect is an impact. And a possible danger is a menace. Now listen to Jennifer talk about plastic bags and the environment, and we'll fill in the blanks as we go along.
Plastic bags are a menace. Over the last 50 years, they have become very popular because they are light, cheap, and convenient. However, they are having a devastating impact on the environment. This is due to the fact that they are not biodegradable, and they can take centuries to break down. As they break down, chemicals are released which contaminate our environment.
Okay, so what words does Jennifer use to give the reasons? She uses because and due to the fact that. Now listen to Jennifer, and in what order does she mention these things? And apart from Colombia, what two countries does Jennifer mention?
Many governments around the world have started tackling the problem of plastic bags. In some countries, like Kenya, there are strict penalties such as fines or even prison terms for creating or importing plastic bags. However, some very influential nations, the US for instance, have been slow to adopt a systematic approach. Colombia is not a country which is famous for its high level of environmental awareness. However, in 2018, the government introduced a scheme to try to reduce the number of plastic bags people use. Shops have started charging customers for plastic bags. At supermarkets, for example, each plastic bag now costs 20 Colombian pesos. This figure is set to increase by 10 pesos a year until it reaches 50 pesos.
All right, so the order was C, D, A, and then B. And the two countries that she mentioned besides Colombia were Kenya and the United States. All right, so now listen to the end of the recording and you'll answer these questions true or false.
As a result of this charge, Colombians are starting to find alternative ways of carrying their shopping items, like baskets or reusable bags made of cloth. Most Colombians welcome the change. It's still in the early stages, but there has already been a 10% decrease in the number of plastic bags since this new initiative was introduced.
All right, so Colombians are unhappy about paying for plastic bags. That's false. She said most people welcome the change. People are starting to use baskets and cloth bags. That's true. And there has been a 35% decrease in the use of plastic bags since the initiative started. That's false. She said it was 10%. Now let's take a look at language to introduce examples. We use like and such as very often in spoken English. So examples: in some countries like Kenya, there are strict penalties such as fines or even prison terms for creating or importing plastic bags. And in some places, such as Bangladesh, plastic bags are no longer available at supermarkets. For example, as an example, and for instance are also very common. At supermarkets, for example, each plastic bag now costs 20 Colombian pesos. Many people are worried about the amount of plastic in the environment. For instance, scientists believe that by 2050, there could be more plastic than fish in the oceans. Now, give some reasons, results, and examples. You can pause the video, try this on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, governments ban the plastic bag because of the damage they do to the environment. Due to the number of plastic bags in the environment, governments are taking action. In some states of Australia, like South Australia, Queensland, and the Northern Territory, single-use plastic bags have been banned. We don't know the effects that plastic has on our health. For instance, scientists are studying the effects of microplastics on the human body. And as a result of using single-use plastics, some countries, like Kenya and Bangladesh, banned plastic bags. All right, again, we're going to just skim the text and answer the questions. Pause the video, try it on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. So when will Melville Council introduce the campaign? Well, it's the 13th of next month. What is the problem with the current recycling program? The bins contain items that they are not supposed to. And does your council provide recycling bins to every home? And you can answer that in the comments if you would like. All right, now we're going to read the text and answer the questions. You can pause the video and read on your own, or you can follow along as I read. Finally, Melville Council has begun an ambitious project to install solar panels on the roof of every school in the local area by the end of the school year. The Solar Energy Initiative is part of the Council's commitment to the use of renewable energy. It also aims to save money in the long term since schools will be capable of generating their own electricity. Parents of children who attend local schools will receive more information as they make progress. So solar power is a type of renewable energy. Can you think of other types of renewable and non-renewable energy? Well, here the wind energy is another example of renewable. Electricity might also be considered a renewable form of energy. Non-renewable could be things like coal, wood, gasoline, oil, fossil fuels. All right, so you work for Melville Council. Tonight there is a meeting and you are going to talk about one of the campaigns. So what is the council doing during this campaign? Tonight people will ask questions. They will want you to give reasons. So think of 5 questions that people could ask and what response will you give. So you can choose which initiative you want to talk about and then think about these questions, take some notes. And then if you want to practice, you can write out your proposal, explaining what the campaign is, giving reasons why the campaign is taking place, provide examples of similar campaigns in other cities or countries, and be prepared to ask questions, ask and answer questions. And just remember, here are some of the phrases that you can use to give reasons, results, and examples. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Please like, subscribe, share, leave comments, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.